Thank you for joining our Imagery International program. We hope you found it stimulating. ImageryInternational.org.
So welcome everybody to the Imagery International quarterly webinar with Constance Hart. My name is Maureen Killow. I am the administrator for Imagery International.
That's it. You've
got to save the date for our phenomenal, our unforgettable, not to be missed annual conference. This year, the theme is Transformation of Imagery, and it's going to be on October 29th, 30th, and 31st. And we have an incredible lineup. So we will be announcing that lineup very shortly, so look for that email. And meanwhile, to those of you who are listening to this, if you have any ideas for a webinar, or if you'd like to present a webinar, please think about it and contact me at office@imageryinternational.org. And now I would like to introduce our colorful, fabulous, amazing woman speaker. Constance Hart is the founder of Conscious Colors, a color therapy modality and color aroma therapy system. She's a pioneer in her field. She's developed this work over 28 years as a color therapist. And she's bringing to the world individually and to groups how color energy is one of the most profound ways to tap into our expansive nature. She's also taught visualization and meditation for over 30 years, so she's one of us. And she presented at our Imagery International Conference in 2017. So Constance, I'm so grateful for your colorful presence today, and I can't wait to hear more about the unique ways that color can help us heal. So thank you, and I turn it over to you.
Thank you, Maureen. Hi, gals. I'm glad you're here. Virtually or live, I honor whichever way that you're here participating. And color is my middle name. I feel like I live, breathe, and speak color. There was just something that came out. There's some contest with Moleskin journals that just came out a couple days ago, and it was really fun that I started getting all these emails from people I don't even remember. Sorry, everyone. Some students from years ago, they're like, you have to enter this. It's about color. So it's sometimes people will, because my business name is Conscious Colors, and my name is Constance Hart. You could call me Conscious Constance or Colors Heart, or I get all sorts of different variations of the combination between Conscious Colors and Constance Hart. So I'll take that. This is what I've created. I'm happy to be a living example of how much color energy reminds us that we are more than just physical matter and mass as human beings. We are hue beings. That little chart behind me is actually entitled Hue, H-U-E, man, because we are actually beings of hue. We are beings of color, which means we are beings of light. So when you're working with color in any imagery practice, I feel truly that you are passing the baton to your client to help remind them that they are in fact light. So I have a short presentation today. I am going to take you through a specific guided imagery practice utilizing a rainbow. Now, I'm going to share this because one of the previous webinars, I think it was with Kathy with shapes or finding your purpose. I can't remember what the name of that webinar was,
Kathy Caldwell did one on symbolism.
Symbolism.
Symbols. Yeah,
Yes.
symbols.
Okay. And she had us do a beautiful imagery practice. And, you know, I've been teaching visualization, as Maureen said. I've been leading meditations and visualizations for 30 years. And the interesting thing is, I've never created anything with a rainbow. And when I was doing Kathy, and it's, you know, I'm sure you might be thinking, what? That seems like that would be the first thing that you go to, but I'm not that type of person. So I'm always, you know, on the fringes, creating other ways, not the most obvious thing. But when I did Kathy's imagery practice, I was almost surprised that I was choosing a rainbow. And it was really exciting for me. This rainbow showed up, and basically, I decided then to sit down and craft a practice with a rainbow. And that was kind of like the start of offering this webinar. So it was Imagery International that actually was the start of even creating this, what I think is a really lovely imagery practice. You'll see if you agree in a moment. Let's get started with that. And then also I'll be sharing some tips as promised. You'll get a PDF, some handouts from this session that includes how to create a color feeling list and why you might want to do that if you are teaching imagery. So yes, welcome to this Conscious Colors imagery practice. And I am so glad you're here. And whenever I do online classes, I like us to just take a moment to visualize that we're in the same room. Can we? Let's. Oh, here's me at that. So maybe you were here at the 2017 Imagery International Conference. We could visualize we're in a room like this together. Or perhaps we could visualize that we're just sitting in a sweet circle together. Wherever you want to be, I want to promise you that my favorite goddess is with us, the goddess of Kuan Yin. I always like to invite her into any session that I'm giving because she truly is the goddess of compassion, which means she helps to ease and soothe any self-judgment, any self-criticism. Just give us a nice healthy dose of love and compassion and understanding. And with that, I would like us to close our eyes for a moment and jointly intend that all information and energies received today be utilized for the highest good of all. And yes to that. And our intentions, I always set these intentions for any conscious colors teaching. My intention for you and our group intention is that we're going to learn, we will certainly evolve in some way, and then we get to illuminate. And by illuminating your own light, you do get to shift and change the frequency of those that come in contact with you. And since I am showing you a screen and we are going to have a meditation practice, I'd like to share with you from my expertise as a color therapist, your number one color therapy ally for supporting imagination and, of course, the ability to visualize and meditate and shift the mind from a more left brain active outward mode into the right brain, more inward, reflective, and imaginative mode. This color therapy gift is the royal blue ray. So you could just take a few moments here, gifting yourself with time to gaze into the center of your screen and receive this beautiful royal blue healing, this royal blue color ally. And then you may close your eyes and deepen and soften at the same time, your breathing. Deepen your breathing and soften your breathing. So if you feel like you still have the day's prior events with you, prior thoughts, you could take a few cleansing breaths, exhaling out through the mouth to encourage more of a release and letting go. And then when you're ready, I will invite you to solely breathe in and out through your nose. That breath practice that is more of a gift of creating energy internally rather than letting go. So, for this guided practice, you will get the script typed out so that you could read it or make changes to it, whatever you'd like to do with it, or just take yourself through this practice. Kind of the entryway into this conscious colors imagery is really to support a client who's having a challenge with something. So in conscious colors therapy, we do have that client name that before we move into prescribing. I didn't say this earlier, but the conscious colors modality is a color therapy modality where we are supporting one of two things mainly. One, our clients, patients, and students having a challenge or an issue that they would like to support in some way with the color therapy, having a change, or supporting our clients in celebrating something that they're feeling really wonderful about that they want to have more of. For this particular journey I'm taking you on today, we are going to focus on shifting a challenge or issue. So for yourself, going through this for yourself right now, you could just take a moment to tune in with where or if you're having a challenge or an issue with something. Just name it for yourself silently. I'm having a challenge or an issue with such and such. Just get clarity around what you would like to have a shift around today in this practice. And right alongside that, you can just kind of have it over here, kind of hanging out in the wings and the sidelines of what you want for yourself moving forward around that. So these are some scripts that I like to use with my practitioner students or with my clients. Most of my clients now are all practitioners wanting to learn how to utilize color therapy, how to incorporate color therapy in their practices, and certainly conscious color students who are getting trained and certified in color therapy. So these are some of the scripts that we utilize. What I want for myself moving forward is, if something comes for you around that, you can jot that down. Or I see myself being such and such. I see myself having such and such. I see myself doing blank. Great. So let's take a rainbow journey, shall we? So you could just settle yourself in your chair, and you don't have to take notes because the beauty is I have it all typed out for you. So I really encourage you to just settle yourself in to go on this guided journey with me. So I do suggest that you're seated as always. Well, not as always for you. Maybe you have your clients lying down. I usually have my clients seated, and part of the reason why is because in the conscious colors practice, we are utilizing color aromatherapy, and we find that when the person is sitting upright, when they're inhaling the color aroma, it helps to move the energy up and down and around the spine. So I just wanted to say that for any of you that might be utilizing the color aroma in conjunction with this practice. I'm not going to mention color aroma as part of this guided journey. So I'll just have you be seated And you may close your eyes. And I'd like you to invite the inner corners of your eyes to expand to the outer corners of your eyes. And as you imagine that, you can feel your eyes beginning to relax, your eyelids starting to soften, the inner corners of the eyes expanding to the outer corners of the eyes. And now imagining the outer corners of your eyes gently draping off your face. With the breath in, imagine the skin of your scalp expanding. And with an exhale, let your head grow heavier into your body. Inhaling, imagining the skin of your scalp stretching and expanding. Exhaling, allowing your head to grow heavier, dropping downward and inward. With your next inhalation, inhaling into your ears. And with your exhalation, allowing your earlobes to grow heavier, dropping toward your shoulders. Inhaling into your ears, exhaling, letting your earlobes grow heavy toward your shoulders. Inhaling into your throat, exhaling, letting your shoulders drop away from your ears. And with your next exhalations, allowing your entire torso to grow heavier and heavier, dropping deeper into your seat, growing more present into your sit bones. With each breath now, growing heavier into your sit bones, being supported by your chair. Now just letting your eyes relax as you gaze either toward the bridge of the nose or the tip of the nose, whatever feels more comfortable for you. And with your eyes closed, you're just going to softly massage underneath the occipital bone on the back of the head. So you're just looking for that little divot underneath the large bone on the back of your head and massaging there at your back eye. And now you can relax your hand and arm once again, letting the shoulders relax away from the ears. And practicing your inner eye gaze again, either toward the bridge of the nose or the tip of the nose. So now imagine yourself standing behind your front door. And imagine yourself opening your front door. And across the street is a beautiful rainbow. Let yourself receive the glory of this sight. It is a colorful glow of colorful light energy, illuminating the 7 rainbow rays of red, orange, yellow, green, sky blue, royal blue, and violet. Just let yourself take in the beauty and majestic energy of this glorious rainbow. The longer you're breathing with this colorful light rainbow, you now begin to notice that each color ray is moving from the left side to the right side in a slow rhythm. You see that each color of the rainbow is moving from the bottom left side slowly up and over the rainbow arc down to the bottom right side. The red ray is moving from the lower left side of the rainbow up and over the arc and down the lower right side of the rainbow. You notice the orange ray is moving from the lower left side of the rainbow up and over the arc and down the lower right side of the rainbow. The yellow ray moving up from the lower left side, up and over the arc, and down the lower right side of the rainbow. The green ray now moving up the left side of the rainbow, up and over the arc, and moving down the right side of the rainbow. You see the sky blue ray moving up the left side of the rainbow, reaching the top, and gliding down the right side of the rainbow. You now see the rich royal blue ray lifting up the left side of the rainbow to the top and moving down the right side of the rainbow. You see the violet ray flowing up the left side of the rainbow, reaching the top and flowing down the right side of the rainbow. Now, as you stand here, you see all 7 colors moving together as one unit from the lower left side of the rainbow up and over the arc and gracefully down the right side to the lower right side of the rainbow. Notice how easily the color energies, these colorful lights, are moving up the left slope, reaching the top, and moving gracefully down the right slope of the rainbow. Choose your own rhythm as you continue to see this entire rainbow coming alive as it gently moves from the lower left side of the rainbow up the hill to the top of the arc and down the hill to the lower right side of the rainbow. In your mind's eye, let your eyes softly make this pattern as you move up from the left and down to the right. Now you notice a chair has shown up at the bottom left side of the rainbow. See this chair as a comfortable lounge chair, perhaps even a recliner. It has wide arms and a high back. This chair at the bottom left side of the rainbow. See this comfy chair now made out of a fluffy cotton. Imagine this chair is so comfortable and light. It's almost losing its shape and form. It's like sitting in a cotton ball. So settle yourself in now to this wonderful, comfortable chair. And you're surprised at how sturdy it is. You feel completely supported. You feel completely stable, sitting in this soft, nurturing, fluffy cotton cloud chair. Just let yourself relax into its embrace and settle in, knowing you're completely taken care of as you sit in this cottony chair. Now, what was it that you were desiring around your previous issue or challenge? Just name this for yourself in your mind in this way. I'd like to feel blank. Fill in the blank. Name it for yourself in a feeling tone. I'd like to feel. Begin to deepen and soften your breath as you hear some feelings in your mind and choose that one key feeling tone that you'd like to have related to this issue or challenge. What's the feeling on the other side of this issue? How do you want to feel? Breathing consciously and awaken now to this idea that this feeling has a color. Now take a moment to visualize the base of the right side of the rainbow bridge, meaning just visualize the lower right side of the rainbow and choose an image of yourself feeling this new feeling tone over there. What do you look like? Feeling this new way. What are you doing? Are you alone? Are you with someone? Are you holding an object? Just take a moment to visualize yourself over there at the lower right side of the rainbow in that new feeling. What is that color? What does that feeling look like in color? What color does this feeling feel like? Is it red? Is it orange? Is it yellow? Is it sky blue? Is it royal blue? Is it green? Is it violet? Choosing red, orange, yellow, green, sky blue, royal blue, or violet for your desired feeling. Now imagine your fluffy, soft, cottony chair on the lower left side of the rainbow arc. Imagine your chair now in this color. And take a seat and feel how wonderfully you are being held in this comfortable, soft, cottony chair of this color. See this color underneath your buttocks, your thighs, your legs. Perhaps you're even reclining in your cottony chair of this color. The color is behind your back, your head, your buttocks, your thighs, your calves. Your arms now are relaxing in the chair's arms of this color, and know that you are completely supported. Take a deep breath in and put your new feeling in present time. So rather than I'd like to feel blank, you're now with I now feel blank. Fill in your blank with your present time new feeling as you sit in your colorful chair. Take another deep breath, getting ready to take a lovely, sweet ride as you visualize your fluffy colored cottony chair as it floats up the rainbow arc on the left side, carrying you comfortably and safely to the top of the arc. Let yourself imagine that feeling of floating upwards in this colorful chair. And now let yourself feel the chair gently floating delicately down the right side, carrying you in its color down the right side of the rainbow in this new feeling tone over to your new destination. And you may take a moment to check in with yourself. Would I like to take that ride again? Up from the left to the top and down the right to my new destination. As you land at the bottom right side of the rainbow, gently stand up and touch the chair now. Touch this colorful chair, seeing its color, acknowledging its color, acknowledging its feeling, that connection you made between your desired feeling tone and the color you chose to represent just that. Touch the chair and thank it for carrying you on this journey. Look back at the rainbow now and notice that the entire rainbow has been colored now in your one chosen color. Give yourself a moment to see yourself standing next to the right side of the rainbow in your new feeling with your new color ally. And you now know that whenever you like, you may return to this visual of your personal rainbow bridge in your one chosen color anytime you would like to be carried gently from where you are to where you want to be on this particular subject with the help of this personal healing color ray. And you now know you may also travel this rainbow bridge anytime you're faced with any issue or challenge that you would like to transform. And so it is. So coming back, And you could also, an optional ending to that is you could also walk from the chair on the right side of the rainbow back to the front door and standing there gazing at that complete rainbow from that same vantage point of your front door. What did you receive from that? We'll just take open sharing. We're such a small group, Maureen.
Yeah, that was really beautiful and dreamy. And I would love to know more about like what the energetic qualities of the hues.
We're gonna get to that.
Oh, good, good. Yeah. Well, I'll let everybody else share. If
Okay.
anybody else would like to share. Royal blue showed up for me, but it had yellow with it. So.
Who else? Who would like to share? It's not mandatory, but I'm sure like it.
Yeah,
Elena?
Just unmute yourselves.
There we go. Should I share what it was that I'm having a challenge with? And
whatever
Okay.
you received from that, I'm happy to hear.
My challenge was decluttering my life. We're trying to get ready to eventually move to Oregon. And I live in Florida, and we have my 98-year-old father-in-law with us. So we have all of his stuff and all of my husband's stuff. So there's clutter everywhere. So that was my challenge. And the color that I really liked was the sky blue. And the feelings I got from the color were excitement and joyfulness, free. I felt free, but that wasn't really a feeling, I guess. So
thank you for sharing that, which is why I like using this phrase, feeling tone. So when we're working with our clients, what's the feeling tone? What's the tone of that feeling? So it expands it out, where it's not just sad, angry, happy, right? Sad, angry, happy, depressed. And we're going to do an exercise. So let's keep this brief so I can get to that exercise and show you some ways to help find some of those feeling tones. That's a wonderful journey.
That was lovely. Yeah.
For you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Who else?
I'll go ahead and share. So the color that came to me was a very beautiful, like creamy yellow color, almost buttery, and along with it came the whole idea of living my best life going forward. So it was a huge space that color spoke to.
Beautiful. Oh, I wanted to do this. I see that for you. Imagine me, if we were together, I would be tapping your inner eye, gals. So I do see that for you.
Okay, great.
Nancy?
Yeah, so can you hear me without a headset on?
Yes.
So one of the first surprises for me is when we traveled the yellow path, there were Hebrew letters that came across the path in a like a downward kind of angle. And then when we got to the green and the blues, everything became like neon vibrant, like they were moving. There was movement, there was aliveness. And the color I chose me, was the deep blue.
And you're wearing it today.
Yeah.
Never any accident where
I know,
color
right?
is concerned. So I love that. Thank you. Received a lot of imagery just from your share. Thank you.
Yeah.
Who next? It's not mandatory, but if you'd like to share, you could just raise your hand. Or Sharon, if you'd like to share, you could just unmute yourself. Okay, I get that we're going to move on. Yes? So definitely got to give you one of those. So we can just celebrate seeing that beautiful rainbow there. Whoops, excuse me. There we go. Oh, so you could just read the screen. I'm tongue-tied for a moment. You could pre-discuss this practice with your client. In the conscious colors modality, we always have a discussion first. We give our clients an opportunity to share that allows us to have active listening. I'm sure you're doing that in your practice. We take some notes, and for my students that are trained and certified, by the way, you could do that. You could take my online certification course in color therapy if you're at all interested. For my practitioners that are trained in color therapy, we're listening to cues that the client is giving us, and we're writing down some colors that we know through our practice of color therapy would be useful for their process. And then we're able to listen to what colors they've chosen and then marry those together. Yes, I wanted to make sure I said that in this particular imagery practice, please choose the word and words that you resonate most with. So I like saying rainbow arc or rainbow bridge. If that's not a connector for you or that doesn't make sense, you could just say rainbow. Or at one point, I like to introduce a bunch of different words to give you good choices. That's really the conscious part of conscious colors. I utilize a lot of words with feelings and color to create the wellness and the healing. So I also use the word hill in that imagery practice. So you could also even do that practice of riding the chair up and down a hill if rainbow is not appealing to you. And I wanted to make sure I mentioned this, and I'm just doing it now so I wouldn't forget that something that you might not have been trained with in your own imagery practice with color, that as a color therapist I have more information about or knowledge about, is that when you're working with color, you've got to remember, well, you don't have to, it's your choice. I invite you to please remember that when you're mentioning foods, or you're mentioning an object, or you're mentioning a flower that has a particular aroma, if you're mentioning a flower because that's how you want to introduce color, but if it has a particular aroma to it, your client may or may not have a memory associated with that can be a trigger. So colors can be triggers through foods and aromas, flowers having aromas, foods having aromas, because our sense of smell is what is helping us create memories. This is one of the reasons why I created color aroma, because it helps us remember the visual of the color if we take in an aroma of the color. But I'm mentioning this in particular for colors can be triggers, like anything can be a trigger of a painful memory. But just I'm opening that up for your own inquiry to take some time to consider if you're mentioning blue related to this or red related to that you be careful to keep it as generic as possible. So I promised that we would do a little exercise in creating a color feeling list. And why would we want to create a color feeling list? And I'll show you one of those in a moment. But the benefits, two key benefits, definitely helping your client, if she feels stuck identifying a need, a desire, or a feeling, that you could actually just read some of your offerings and have, and it assists the client in being able to make a choice. And then also it helps you to tailor your imagery practice in support of your client. If you have, as I said a moment ago, those feeling tones, if you have a list of feeling tones connected to any imagery practice that you're teaching beyond this one that I'm offering, it'll help you to use your own imagination with what you're creating and where you take your clients. So creating a master color feeling list, I think this is, it's kind of, I would say, out of the beginning, intermediate, and advanced pieces of the conscious colors color therapy puzzle. This is kind of um, a medium, did I say beginning, intermediate? It's an intermediate level practice. So creating a master color feeling list, it's not a basic thing to do with color therapy. It's like an intermediate level thing to do. So I highly suggest exploring this so that you can begin to, even if you're not going to add color therapy, or if you're, to your whole mix of offerings, or, you don't have to get certified as a color therapist to include this in your work. So to create a master color feeling list, the first thing that I have you do is meditate with each color. And in the conscious color system, we utilize these 13 colors. Of course, if you have any familiarity with the Crayola color, Crayola crayons, those wonderful boxes, remember they started with like 8 colors and they went to 16, 32, 64, 128. As a kid, I was like, when do we get the big box with all the choices of colors? Well, in my many years as a color therapist, and then coming to create the conscious colors modality in its entirety, after working with clients for about whatever that was, about 8 to 10 years before I created the formal modality, I decided that these would be the key colors that we would work with. And let's go and just show you those names. From left to right, pink to yellow, and from left to right, green to white. So beyond the 7 basic rainbow rays, if you wanted to take your color language up a notch, you could play with these 13 colors. So to create your own master color feeling list, remember that's for 2 benefits: helping your clients identify where they want to go. You're utilizing the feeling list to tune into what color they might be needing or wanting. And then you could just take them through your own guided visualization, utilizing a color connected to that feeling. And of course, helping you tailor your practices. So the next thing you would do after meditating with each color, you would meditate with one color, let me be clear, and then you would make a list of qualities, objects, aromas, and experiences that come to you after meditating with that color. So earlier we had that royal blue ray up across the whole screen. And if I asked you to meditate with that color for a few moments and then start to write out a list of qualities, objects it reminds you of, aromas, experiences, that'll help you have a lot of choices for feeling tones. So then your next step would be to make a list of feeling tones connected to these. So let's say I just meditated with the color yellow. And on my list, I had lemon, or my favorite yellow mug. For some reason, my printer is printing something. I don't know what's going on with that. Interesting. Okay. Okay. Interesting. It's alive. Okay. So let's say I'm meditating with yellow, and then I write down lemon as an object, right? Connected to that color. And then I'm going to make a list of some feeling tones connected to the lemon. For me, I feel cleansing because I use lemons when I'm going on a cleanse. Cleansing, tart, clear. So that's just an example. Then, so you've got a list of some objects and feeling tones, some aromas, feeling tones, and you're going to look for the similarities in those. And then you're going to consolidate that into your master list. So what does a master list look like? Here's the 13 colors in the conscious colors modality. And these are 13 basic feeling tones. And here's a more expansive list. This list of color qualities was actually compiled after I taught my course for 10 solid years. I was picking and choosing and listening to what different students were saying and listening for where the commonalities are. And so this is important when working with color therapy. Yes, we are all individuals. Yes, we are all unique. Yes, one person might use the word peaceful for pale blue. The other person might use the word soothing, but they have the same feeling tone. You're going to get a copy of this. So like I said, don't worry. You don't have to scribble all that out. That's in your PDF from this webinar. There it is. It includes that color qualities list, plus also a blank list that you could fill in with your own. And so I can continue my research, I'm going to encourage you to email me your color feelings list after you do that exercise for a free conscious colors gift. What could that be? Well, you'll find out when you send me. Please email me your own color feeling list, because this allows me the wonderment of, yep, we're all individuals, yet we do have cultural similarities and culture. We have a cultural likeness to how we feel about certain colors. So I just kind of breezed through that because I want to respect our time. And I'd like to know, what questions do you have about that? Where does that take you? And I'm not sure I answered Maureen's question, but maybe you let me know.
Yeah, well, I noticed that your master list seemed to somewhat follow the guidelines of the chakra, the qualities of the different colors of the chakra system, that those seem to be there, except for the communication one I didn't see that. But so it sounds like, so that those seem to be the vibration that you're assigning to each color.
Well, colors, thank you for mentioning that. And in the chakra system, by the way, I'm teaching a whole bunch of new practitioner master classes starting at the end of this month. And if you're curious about one of them in particular, it's called Moving Beyond the Chakras, which I'm very excited to share, because as someone who's been teaching the chakra system for almost 20 years, I'm kind of radically saying, I'm not doing that anymore. And I've got new information for you that's beyond the chakras. And like all my old students are like, what are you doing? Does that mean everything you taught in the past isn't valid? No, it's valid and it's evolving. And where the evolution is, I'm so glad you brought up the chakra system, is that there's confusion about what do the colors have to do with the chakras anyway? Is my chest really green inside? And it's because we we really started assigning the colors to the chakras. That was actually a Western thing that was done. A Westerner did that, and I'm glad he did it. It opened the doorway for a lot of us that were interested in energy in this way, connecting color and energy and light. But really, where that's coming from, in my humble and professional opinion, are the feeling tones of the colors and how those feeling tones coordinate with different organs and glands and systems in our body. And then beyond that, what I really was going to say is that pale blue is soothing. You cannot make it. Now this is advanced color therapy. The frequency of the color pale blue is soothing and calming. You cannot make pale blue have a stimulating and activating effect on your energy system, because inherent in the frequency, the way that color vibrates, because color is frequency, it's energy, it's vibration. The way that color wavelength vibrates does not produce a stimulating effect on the psyche, on the body's organs and glands. It's soothing. And so in the color therapy course, of course, you learn more about, but I'll just give everyone a quick primer, is that red, orange, and yellow, and any version of red, orange, and yellow are stimulating colors and have stimulating effects for the body, mind, spirit. And then the blues and violets have a calming effect on our body, mind, spirit. And then green is the neutralizer, which lies directly in the middle of our visible spectrum. And so green is a balancer. And so when we were connecting, oh, there's these 7 energy centers, there was this epiphany. Oh, there's 7 rainbow rays. Oh, 7, 7. And we're humans on the planet Earth, and we're attempting to reach our light. And when we see a rainbow, we see light. It was a perfect connector, the 7 rainbow rays and the 7 major energy centers. But most of us know that there are more than 7 energy centers in the body. There are hundreds of energy centers. So then what do we do? If we only have 7 color choices, where do they go and how do we apply them? And why would we meditate with pink on our shoulder and pale blue on our foot? And yes, we definitely want to meditate with pale blue in our feet if we want a foundation that is peaceful. So that's where getting stuck with my feet are red because the root chakra is red, and so I can only visualize with red in my feet. It's very limiting and it's not as expansive. And actually, it's not correct. Yes, I said that. So long answer. Great question. Who else?
Thank you.
You're welcome. What else from that process of, did you get a sense of why creating a color feeling list might be useful in your imagery practices? What ideas do you have with that? Did anybody get kind of like an aha idea? Jennifer? Whoops. Unmuting.
So, I don't know if it was so much an aha, and I apologize that it's my, it's just in the evening, I don't have a good connection from my home. So that's why I keep leaving and coming back. It's because of my internet connection.
That's okay.
But, so with the sense of color, they're also like, even as you're talking about the colors, it's like I'm getting texture also. And
beautiful.
And it's coming like as part of the medicine of the color. So I'm just saying that because it's surprising to me and delightful.
I love
And
that.
yeah.
I love that. And the list, I just gave that basic list: objects, experiences. That list, shapes, like you said, texture. We could have shapes connected, places, people, and we do that in the course. We go through all those. But I love texture. I'm so glad you brought that in. And that was part of the reason why the chair was a cottony, fluffy chair, that for those reasons. How about you, Sharon? I'll have
Sharon
you
needs me to unmute.
I see your hand up. I'm asking you to unmute, Sharon.
Hi there.
Hi.
Hi, I'm sorry. I'm not in a necessarily quiet situation where I can really talk. I can listen well, but I just wanted to share that so interesting. Just I combine my imagery with my healing touch work that I do, and I do it here in a wellness center, and I have used color, and I really wanted to expand my my knowledge and how to utilize color in a more expansive way. And just yesterday, I had a highly, should I say, gentleman who was he lives in a very anxious world. His world is a very anxious world, and I can't remember whether I chose pale blue for him or if he chose pale blue, but either way, it was extraordinarily soothing to him. So it was very interesting to hear you talk about pale blue as being so soothing and calming, and it worked for him magnificently. It really did.
I bet. That's beautiful. I'm so glad you're here today. And that's and the pale blue in the color aroma oil and mist is lavender, marjoram, and
Of course.
lavender, of course, everyone thinks is soothing, but with palmarosa and marjoram, it actually creates like this whole nervous system reset. So you might like to explore that in particular.
The lavender, marjoram, and what was the other one?
Well, you can just get it on my site. It's the pale blue color
Oh,
aroma.
okay. Oh, I see. Pale blue aroma. I got it. Okay, I'll go look at the website. Great. Thank you.
And pause. I'm glad you've been here with us, and I don't want to put you on the spot. Just letting you know that I'm glad you're here, and I hope you receive something useful from the session. And Elena. So, Nancy.
So I think this is really interesting. My daughter is visually impaired, massively, to where she couldn't even see light when she was born. And she's so interesting about colors. And one of the things that, two of the things that popped into my mind that I wanted to share with you is that from the time she was really little and could think about numbers, she said that each number has a color. And she talked about the colors of her numbers. And then ever before she could see a rainbow, she started drawing rainbows. And they're like, they like just pierce your heart because it's from someone that's never seen them, but knows them. You know, she lives in them. So I just wanted to share those two things.
Beautiful. I'm so glad you shared that. Over the years, I've received so many stories, and also I've worked with colorblind individuals, and I had one blind client, and color is feeling. And again, because the colors are energies, we're communicating with color, and color is communicating to us through this. It really is it's a quantum physics experience,
Yes.
working with color. And because I've been involved with color you know since the early 90s, consciously anyway. Well, actually, I could even say I've been involved in color since birth. Oh, my dad, who I just saw, my dad is an art teacher, and it's part of my story how, we grew up with murals on our living room walls, and, my whole life was inundated with color. But what I can say is, over the decades of teaching color, I've always in society kind of have to pull back with how far out it is. But I love the fact that it's getting closer to, in the early 90s, when I wanted to use the word quantum, I could never use the word quantum with my work. And we're getting closer. I think in my lifetime, I will be able to say, this is a quantum physics practice. And when I hear a story like that, I just, you just know, and certainly you've had the personal experience with your daughter to just know there's something more than meets the eye with color. And so that's why, actually, with visually impaired people, that's why when color meets the nose, the big nose, that's why I created Color Aroma, because when you have the experience of what does the aroma of blue feel like, a person that can smell blue can see it internally, and it really helps to become a way that we can visualize with color easier when we impact our olfactory system, which is our strongest sense. When we impact our olfactory system first with color, then we have a greater ability to meditate and visualize and imagine with color. I'm going to end the session with one other share here, just to do, oops, not the white screen, just to do myself a little service and make sure that I can include you with some of the things that are coming up in the conscious colors world. There's a new map to the hue being. Definitely want you to enjoy your colors, please. And as I mentioned, I am having some new practitioner master classes, and those are all listed at my website, consciouscolors.com, if you're interested in checking those out. And then finally, if you're not on my e-news, I do have, it's a practitioner specific e-news. So I'm sending tips and guided meditation scripts and spotlights on color. Sometimes I'll send free audio download of a color therapy practice. So be sure to sign up for that at my website. And if you're Instagram friendly, I do have a couple of personal Instagram at Conscious Constance. See, I'm even confused about my name there. And at Color Aroma. I don't do much on there, but I'm trying to expand on Instagram. So if you're on there, please follow me. I'll follow you back. It's been a pleasure supporting everyone. You're welcome. Thanks for having me. I love our group. I really do.
Imagery International.org